All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the Las Vegas Raiders. And if I am not mistaken, the Raiders are currently number one in the AFC West. I am so glad you asked that question. Yes, the defending Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, are also in the AFC West. And yes, the Las Vegas Raiders are leading that division. Now, obviously, we are just poking fun here, but nonetheless, the Las Vegas Raiders started off week one with an extremely impressive road victory over divisional rival in the Denver Broncos. Now, I just want to say this right out of the gate because we talked about it all summer and we're going to continue to talk about it all season. This Raiders team is a playoff caliber team. The Raiders are a lot better than a lot of people give them credit for, and a lot of people like to pinpoint their defense. We'll talk about their defense a little bit later on in the video. By the way, their defense is perfectly fine. Jimmy G, what does Jimmy G do? What does he do well? What does he do? Oh, I'll start it off. I'll start the discussion off. He wins, he's accurate, and he doesn't make mistakes. Josh McDaniels is sitting wherever the hell he's sitting right now thinking, we got our guy. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo in week one, road victory over divisional rival, the Denver Broncos, 20-26, 2 touchdowns and an interception, only 200 yards. That interception was very unlike Jimmy G, but nonetheless, they've got their guy. The Las Vegas Raiders have their guy, and we've talked about it all summer. If the Raiders were to just all of a sudden suck, well, you can draft a quarterback. There's at least going to be 6 quarterbacks selected in the first round of this upcoming draft, but I'm promising you, the Raiders with Jimmy G, Josh Jacobs, Jacoby Myers, Devontae Adams, a young, hungry defense, they're going to be an above 500 team. And that's what we're going to talk about in tonight's video. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. If you guys want more Raiders videos, let me know down below. Raiders fans, if we could get this video to 500 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. I talked about this team all summer, and every single person was like, no, you're absolutely ridiculous. Josh McDaniels is a horrible head coach. And I look at you and I say, look, people make mistakes. People learn from mistakes. And that's exactly what I see with Coach Josh McDaniels. But it all starts with the new addition in Jimmy G at quarterback over Derek Carr. Now, I have a lot of respect for Derek Carr. I think he's a above average QB in this league. There's one thing he wasn't able to do for this Raiders team, and that was, simply put, just to put it bluntly, win a playoff game. Win a playoff game. I dare you to win a playoff game. Now, I get it. People like to say, oh, the defense, man, the defense. Look, in the last 5 Super Bowls at least, no defense has been rated statistically top 5. When I look at defenses, it's more of the eye test. Can you get a stop when you need to get a stop? To be quite blunt with you, that's exactly what the Raiders did in that Denver Broncos game. We pinpoint a specific moment. It was like, 6-7 minutes left in the game. The Raiders were up. The Broncos had a beautiful moment to drive down the field, put up some points, get some time off the clock, and win the football game. What did the Raiders do? I'm glad you asked. Thank you for asking. They resulted in a 3-and-out. My point here stands. The Raiders defense is a lot better than a lot of people think. Obviously, you've got your guys. You've got Max Crosby, one of the best defensive ends in the National Football League. You've got Tyree Wilson, rookie, 7th pick out of the draft. I know he had, and like if we're being quite frank here, he had an abysmal first career NFL start. But nonetheless, I'm still excited about him. We get to the linebacker room, Divine Diablo. By the way, if you weren't already aware, Divine Diablo is a star. He's a star linebacker in this league. And then we take a look at the secondary. Well, I see a couple of cats. Nate Hobbs, Trevon Moehrig, Marcus Peters, new rookie addition, Jacorian Bennett, racking in 7 total tackles in his first debut. That defense, I'm telling you right here, and I'm going to tell you right now, the Raiders defense will be middle of the pack this upcoming season. They're going to be middle of the pack, year number 2 under Patrick Graham. So let me get this straight. I have a middle of the pack defense. What do I have on offense? Okay, I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you guys are asking all these great questions. Jimmy G, what has Jimmy G done in his career? I'll give you a hint. He's won. Jimmy G has won football games. He's won important football games. And no, I don't want to hear it. Oh, he's led by his defense. He's led by Kyle Shanahan. I don't want to hear it. I literally don't want to hear it. The quarterback has to make throws. He has to make plays. The quarterback has to be QB1, the leader of the locker room, the entire roster. That's what Jimmy G has showed me in his brief NFL career. It's not going to blow up the stat sheet. It's not. Jimmy G is not going to throw for 428 yards this upcoming week against the Buffalo Bills. But what Jimmy G does very well, he's accurate. He doesn't throw interceptions. He manages the game. One thing we saw from the Raiders, or one thing rather I should say we didn't see from the Raiders, was one of their best weapons, and that's Josh Jacobs, the league-leading rusher in the National Football League in this past season. What did we see against the Denver Broncos? Well, unfortunately, we saw 19 carries, which resulted in 48 yards for 2.5 yards per carry. We've said this on Raiders videos. I guarantee you, hold me accountable, Josh Jacobs at no point in the rest of the regular season, or the rest of the season, with that being said, will rush for less than 48 yards. There will be no time the rest of the league in the NFL this upcoming season that Josh Jacobs runs for 48 yards. I guarantee you. So I had Jimmy G, a proven winner, a proven leader, a proven veteran with the track record, with the league's leading rusher last season. We pair him up with, Justin Jefferson's good. But let's be real. Davante Adams is a top 3 receiver in the league. If we're keeping it a buck here, he's actually probably more likely top 2 as far as reliable wide receivers go. So we're going to pair that up with Jacoby Myers, wide receiver 1, coming from the New England Patriots, who had 9 catches for 81 yards and 2 touchdowns in his Raiders debut. Davante Adams, Josh Jacobs, Austin Hooper, offensive line's a lot better than people think. We're pairing all of this up. A middle-of-the-pack defense with a top 10 offense. What does that equation equal? Glad you asked. You guys keep asking great questions in this live video, or in this non-live video. Glad you asked. This team's efficient. They're organized. This is a different Raiders team than they were last season. I guarantee you they're going to make some noise. I guarantee you. We're putting it on video right here, right now. I know we're 1 game in. I know they've got the Bills up next. Let me say it bluntly. The Bills don't scare me. The Buffalo Bills certainly don't scare me. And if you've watched football in the last couple of seasons, you'd agree with the sentiment. The Bills don't scare me. The Raiders will be 2-0 48 hours from now. Let me know what you guys are thinking about this Las Vegas Raiders squad. As always, hit that like button, hit that sub button, and we'll see you next time. Peace.